Mistakes do not repeat because they are invisible. They repeat because they are familiar. A narrow street at dusk, the same route taken home again. Streetlights flicker on in sequence. Someone slows their steps without realizing why. The body already knows what comes next. The mind does too. There is no surprise left, only recognition. Familiar mistakes feel predictable. Predictability calms the nervous system. Even when the outcome hurts, it hurts in a known way. The timing is expected. The shape of the pain has edges the mind has memorized. Unfamiliar success, by contrast, carries uncertainty. It asks for new responses, new risks, new self-definitions. The brain does not crave happiness as much as it craves stability. Familiar errors offer that stability. They come with rehearsed explanations, prepared coping strategies, and a sense of control over the damage. The future feels smaller but safer. From the outside, it looks self-destructive. From the inside, it feels regulated. And once regulation is achieved, repetition begins to look like choice. This is where mistakes stop feeling accidental and start feeling necessary. Number 10. A man sits in the same chair he sat in last time it went wrong. The fabric creaks. His phone rests face down on the table. His fingers tap once, then stop. This is familiarity bias and error repetition. Known outcomes feel safer than unknown alternatives. The brain favors predictable patterns to reduce uncertainty. Cause leads to effect. Familiar mistakes lower anxiety despite negative results. And that's where the pull begins. The damage is already mapped. Nothing unexpected needs to be faced. Number 9. A woman recognizes the warning signs early and continues anyway. Her breath shortens, then steadies. Her jaw sets. This is anticipatory normalization. Early signals are reclassified as manageable. Repeated exposure dulls threat detection. Cause produces effect. Warning signs lose urgency through repetition. That's the quiet adjustment. What once signaled danger now signals routine. Number 8. A man explains the mistake before it happens. His voice sounds calm. His eyes do not move. This is preemptive rationalization. Justification arrives ahead of outcome. The brain prepares explanations to reduce future discomfort. Cause leads to effect. Foreknowledge softens impact. And that's the preparation. Being ready to explain feels like being in control. Number 7. A woman repeats the same choice because it fits her self-image. Her posture straightens as she commits. This is identity-consistent behavior. Actions align with established self-narratives. Identity coherence reduces internal conflict. Cause produces effect. Familiar mistakes reinforce self-definition. That's the alignment. Changing the pattern would require changing the story of who she is. Number 6. A man feels relief the moment the familiar mistake begins. His shoulders drop slightly. This is relief conditioning. Familiar outcomes trigger emotional release. The nervous system relaxes when uncertainty ends. Cause leads to effect. Known errors become calming. That's the reward. The relief arrives before the consequences. Number 5. A woman ignores alternative options because they feel foreign. Her fingers hover, then withdraw. This is novelty aversion. New paths increase perceived risk. Unfamiliar choices demand adaptation. Cause produces effect. Avoidance preserves comfort. And that's the narrowing. The familiar mistake feels easier than an unfamiliar success. Number 4. A man recalls past times he survived the same error. He nods slightly. This is survival bias. Past endurance is mistaken for safety. Survival does not equal benefit. Cause leads to effect. Endurance justifies repetition. That's the miscalculation. Because it didn't destroy him, it feels acceptable. Number 3. A woman defends the mistake publicly, then privately. Her voice grows steadier each time. This is commitment escalation. Defense increases attachment. Justifying actions deepens investment. Cause produces effect. Defended mistakes become harder to abandon. That's the lock-in. Walking away now would undo everything already said. Number 2. A man feels discomfort imagining a different outcome than the usual one. His stomach tightens. This is uncertainty intolerance. Unknown outcomes feel threatening. The brain prefers known pain over unknown possibility. Cause leads to effect. Familiar suffering is chosen. That's the preference. The mistake is predictable. Change is not. Number 1. A woman lies awake, knowing she will repeat the pattern. The clock ticks evenly. Her breathing slows. This is habitual error reinforcement. Repetition strengthens neural pathways. Neural efficiency favors reuse. Cause produces effect. Mistakes become default responses. That's the final groove. The pattern no longer requires choice. It runs on its own. The brain does not get addicted to mistakes because they are harmful. It gets addicted because they are known. Familiar mistakes come with scripts, timing, and emotional expectations. They reduce surprise. They reduce decision-making. They reduce the effort of becoming someone different. Over time, the familiar mistake feels safer than an unfamiliar improvement. Growth introduces uncertainty. It threatens identity. It removes rehearsed explanations. The nervous system resists not because growth is bad, but because it is unknown. Awareness does not break the addiction instantly. It exposes the trade being made. Predictability is chosen over possibility. Control is chosen over expansion. The cost is subtle and delayed. What feels like comfort today becomes confinement later. The mistake repeats until it feels like character. And once it feels like character, stopping it feels like erasing the self. The street remains the same. The lights turn on again. And familiarity guides the steps long after better paths exist.